Tonight on News 5 Live, a well-known street figure is cut down in a hail of bullets. Jose Matos is executed in the Fabers Road area of Belize City. A spate of shooting incidents is recorded overnight in the capital. Convicted murderer David Gonzalez is sentenced to life in prison. And in tonight's episode of The Bright Side, we catch up with the family of the first New Year's baby. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
I'm connected. Yo.
I'm connected.
We're connected.
Create the perfect broadband bundle that fits your style with Smart Connect. With the Junior Bundle, get 50% off your national calls and up to 6 gigabytes of data at no extra cost. Get postpaid added for an additional cost of only $25 with the Prime Bundle. Stay connected with unlimited smart-to-smart calls plus 6,300 megabytes of data and free international minutes. For the family, pay $28.13 more and get the Binge Watchers bundle with Netflix. This bundle gives you 4 profiles with unlimited streaming on multiple devices. Visit a showroom near you to sign up and personalize your own bundle combination with Smart Connect. Smart, bringing people together.
Watch The Truth of God with Pastor Gino Jennings of the First Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. exclusively on Channel 5 Belize. The Truth of God with Pastor Gino Jennings every Sunday at 8 a.m. on Channel 5 Belize.
Discover a shopping experience like no other at the V Department Store. They carry a vast array of products at unbeatable prices. Elevate your shopping journey with affordability, diversity, and accessibility at the V. Conveniently located at 1745 Coney Drive in Belize City.
If we all don't come together and work together to change the bigger climate picture, these efforts will be in vain.
It's right there.
I believe that we have something special that is also a secret right now, which is unexplored, undiscovered.
I've been with the sugar fishermen all morning, catching lobster and conch. And then we realized it's time for lunch. And man, it's gonna be good. I think they deserve it.
Let's take a journey through the core functions of the Social Security Board. It all starts with registering as an insured person, employer, or self-employed individual. Sign up for a portal account to manage your Social Security information online. Just provide accurate information and click Create. This will give you access to a range of services and benefits. Next, your contribution, along with investments and other income, are collected and distributed into 3 funds. This ensures that the SSB fund is securely utilized to support various benefit programs. The SSB is committed to providing essential benefits such as sickness, maternity, injury, and pension. These benefits are paid out to eligible individuals as a part of the Social Security coverage. We help you navigate through life's challenges with financial security. Annual surplus accumulates to grow the fund each year. This surplus is invested into various industries, contributing to the growth and development of our nation. With each passing year, the fund continues to grow due to the annual surplus and interest revenue earned from prudent investments. This surplus, along with reserves, helps to bolster the SSB fund and provide a safety net for those in need. We've arrived at the end of our journey to better understanding how the SSB works. We remain committed to serving you and building a secure future for all Belizeans.
Apply now for an undergraduate degree in animation, film or journalism at the Caribbean School of Media and Communication at the University of the West Indies, Mona. For more information, visit www.mona.uwi.edu/apply.
Your life just got a lot less complicated with Belize Bank Contactless MasterCard Debit Card. Introducing our Standard Debit and MasterCard Platinum Debit Cards. Now you can make purchases anywhere MasterCard is accepted with one tap, pay and go. Your contactless card never has to leave your hands, especially in these times. And your card is embedded with multiple layers of security. Platinum card holders get to enjoy extra benefits like price protection, purchase protection, trip inconvenience, and luggage protection, just to name a few. Start enjoying a cashless lifestyle today with the Belize Bank.
Good evening. Welcome to News 5 Live for Friday, January 12th. I am Carla Ayers Musa. This afternoon, shortly after 12 p.m., gunshots rang out in the vicinity of Grace Primary School on Faubers Road Extension. Reports of an assault rifle being fired in succession reverberated across the neighborhood. When the shooting subsided, 48-year-old Jose Matos was observed behind the steering wheel of his vehicle. He was mortally wounded. Also injured in the deadly attack were siblings Brina and Brenea Brown. Police say that Matus arrived on Sing Street to pick the sisters up when a van approached his vehicle. A pair of gunmen alighted and let loose a hail of bullets in their direction. Tonight, Belize City Police are bracing for reprisals following the hit on the underworld figure. News 5's Isani Caetano reports.
A well-known street figure was executed in Belize City at midday. El Guapo, as Jose Matos was otherwise known, drove this blue GMC Envoy along Fabers Road extension and turned into Sing Street. He continued for 2 blocks and, upon reaching the corner with Rio Grande Street, stopped to have a conversation with a pair of women from a nearby property. Moments later, a shower of bullets from a 9mm handgun and an assault rifle tore through the driver's side of the mid-sized SUV.
You can confirm that one male person was shot and killed a few moments ago right in this area.
Injured in the deadly spray of gunfire were 2 women, including the daughter-in-law of the homeowner. She was at work when she received word of what took place near her residence.
I'm there at work and I just get the news that they shut up the house, but then not the house. And my daughter-in-law, Elise, sister, get shot. But according to where I hear, they say my daughter-in-law me gonna talk to Elise's sister out there, and some people may not know. And she get shot, but me got the baby in her hand. They say she made a run.
What are the extent of the injuries for your daughter-in-law and her sister, as far as you either saw or as far as you know now?
Well, when I began at the hospital, before I reach home, I see like 3 fingers and a hang off. It tell me get shot up in my leg. The next leg sister get shot up in my chest part.
As many as 27 rounds were fired at the vehicle. On Sing Street, evidence markers littered the scene. According to Commissioner of Police Chester Williams, the past 24 hours have seen an escalation in violent crimes in Belize City.
We do have a flare-up currently, and we met this morning to see how we can address the issue, and the police will be doing what needs to be done to get control of the situation. I am not going to disclose what we will do, but I can assure the Belizean people we're looking at the issue and we're going to deal with it.
The fact that Matos was executed in a residential neighborhood, a short distance away from Grace Primary School, and just a stone's throw away from a nearby property where a number of young children often play outside in the yard, raises serious concerns.
4 babies me there, supposed to be the babies there. People just not think.
When you got the news that something had happened not far from where you are, I presume you rushed home to see what was happening?
Yes, I rushed home. I was shocked. But first I said when the police came, they passed. So I just gone to hospital first before I reach home.
The hit on Jose Matos succeeds a previous attempt on his life in mid-October. As was reported at the time, Matos was driving a vehicle in the vicinity of Morning Glory Street when someone emerged on the scene and fired multiple shots at him. He escaped that incident unscathed. This time, however, the Corozal resident who relocated to Belize City was not fortunate to escape grave injury. A wave of reprisals is anticipated in the wake of Matos' murder.
I can assure the Belizean people, and particularly the residents of Belize City, that the police will be doing what needs to be done to make sure the city is safe for the holidays.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.
3 young men were shot in separate incidents in Belize City between Thursday night and this morning. The victims have been identified as Shamar Smith, Joseph Leslie, and Shane Norberto. It is not certain if all 3 incidents are related. Fortunately, all 3 men are recovering at the hospital. Hipólito Novello reports.
3 young men were shot hours apart in separate incidents in Belize City. The first shooting victim has been identified as 18-year-old Shamar Smith. At around 8 o'clock, Smith was walking on Iguana Street behind the Raccoon Street police station when he was targeted. The gunman approached him and fired several times in his direction. Smith ran, but he was still injured. He remains hospitalized. The second shooting victim has been identified as 19-year-old Joseph Leslie. He too is hospitalized, and his mother, Rosa Bonilla, expects him to make a full recovery. Leslie was walking home when he was shot at around 9 o'clock. In fact, he was just a few yards away from his house on Laura Dunn Street in the Antelope Street extension when a gunman on a bicycle pounced on him.
Yo iba para mi casa como a las 9.
I was going home at around 9 o'clock. I was almost about to arrive home when I heard the gunshots. I ran towards the street and I heard screams, and then I saw my son on the ground. I didn't know it was my son. I heard about 9 shots. It was a lot of shots. He's doing well. He's talking. They wanted to kill him. Bonilla says that if investigators fail to capture the culprits, they will take it upon themselves to bring those responsible to justice.
Él me dice que no vio, pero sus amigos lo vieron.
He told me that he didn't see who it was, but his friends saw who it was. So I spoke to the police, and if they don't want to help to find who is responsible, then I, as his mother, I will have to do it because my son doesn't get in the problem. They will keep hurting more people, so it's not right for this to stay like this. The police need to find who did this because they will keep hurting more people. Bonilla says that her son has no idea why anyone would want him dead. The third shooting victim was 27-year-old Shane Norberto. It happened earlier this morning at around 3 o'clock on Bayman Avenue. He was driving his black Geo Prison along with Jarvis Matthews and 4 women when they noticed that they were being followed by a white vehicle. At the bump, the white car sped up to Norberto and fired several shots before speeding off towards Cinderella Plaza. Norberto also sped off, but he crashed into a house on Kelly Street. He is listed in a stable condition. Reporting for News 5, Hipólito Novello.
A man who was found guilty for the murder of his wife was today sentenced to life imprisonment. David Gonzalez listened as High Court Judge Ricardo O'Neill Sancroft sentenced him to life imprisonment with the possibility of parole after he has served 35 years behind bars. The judge deducted the time that Gonzalez has already served on remand. The body of 28-year-old Maricela Gonzalez was found on October 12, 2020 in San Pedro, where the couple lived. On the night of the murder, Maricela had gone out with Gonzalez, but on their way home, Gonzalez claimed she asked to go back to take a few more drinks. The two got into an argument and she left, said Gonzalez, but Maricela never made it back home. When her body was found, it had a gunshot wound. On Friday, November 10th, Justice Sancroft found Gonzalez guilty of murder after weeks of trial. The Crown Counsel was Reese Catus, who was able to present circumstantial evidence linking Gonzalez to the murder. 2 youths who are charged with the rape of a 14-year-old girl were today arraigned in the Belize City Magistrates Court. They are 18-year-old Equan Renault and a 16-year-old minor. The arraignment took all day as the issue of whether bail should be granted to the 2 accused persons was being contemplated. In the end, the senior magistrate denied bail to Renault and he was remanded to the Belize Central Prison. However, the minor's case for bail consideration was adjourned for Wednesday, January 17th, so he was remanded today to the Wagner's Youth Facility. The magistrate has tasked the Community Rehabilitation Department to find out first what security the school has in place as it relates to the safety of the victim who goes to the school on the north side of Belize City and who has to come into contact with the accused minor. First to be arraigned was the minor, who was accompanied by his mother and his attorneys Norman Rodriguez and Andrew Bennett. Rodriguez explains the process of the minor's bail application.
The fact that the minor's bail application is still under consideration is something good for him, and fortunately it's not because of his age, him being a minor, but the fact that the court considers that he's a student going to school that can have a significant impact on his future. But in court today, the prosecution objected, and the prosecution strongly objected, which is fair. We expect that the prosecution will come and do its job. The objection was on Section 16 of the Crime Control and Criminal Justice Act. However, for the minor, the court is considering his application, like I said, based on the fact that he's a student. The other person, Mr. Renault, was denied bail, and he now has to apply to the Supreme Court where he can get bail.
The incident for which the teens are charged happened in the St. Martin de Porres area on Monday inside an abandoned house near the riverside. After an intense investigation and 3 nights in custody, police charged the 2 youths. The case against the minor and Renault is set to come back before the court on March 12, 2024. Meanwhile, a relative for Renault questions the process of the police investigations.
I heard my mom in the yard, so when I heard my mom in the yard, I looked down and I came down, and then the police officer told, by the time my nephew was already outside, and the police officer told him that you're messing with a 14-year-old. That was my impression that I got, and I then told my nephew, hey Kwan, you know better than that. I know they tolerate that. You know you're not mess with no legal underage. So until we got a station, so we got in a station. When we got in a station, we thinking that we are the investigator for this case. Nobody. The only update we get was on the news, when the little girl came on the news and was telling the incident. Then I realized that, this isn't a relationship, this is a rape. So when she said on the news that it was a lot, and then they were looking at an apartment, that's 2 different locations. Where did this rape actually took place? My nephew should get charged for an open lot, not an apartment. So how didn't the investigators see this? This at my heart, miss. You know why this at my heart? This could happen to anybody. And I know a lot of people out there, wahala, I took up for my nephew, I took up for my nephew.
Coming up, PM feels he has gained ground leading into municipal elections. We'll have more details when we come back.
Hello, friends. I'm Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, "The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. It shall grow like a cedar in Lebanon. They shall bring forth fruit in old age, to show that the Lord is upright." A writer once related that when he was in the 6th grade, an elderly lady in the community visited his one-room schoolhouse to help prepare for a Christmas program. She was quite energetic but quite wrinkled. After she left, the teacher overheard one little boy who said, "Boy, I never want to get old." The teacher responded, "So you want to die young?" The youngster said, "No." The teacher then responded, "Well, it's going to be one or the other. Getting older does have its drawbacks. I asked an older preacher friend once how he was doing, and he replied, 'Bob, if it doesn't hurt, it doesn't work.' Yes, there are the aches and the pains and the wrinkles in getting old, but there are some great promises God gives to us. Psalms 92 promises that just as a palm tree brings forth its best fruit in its old age, so shall the righteous flourish. My son recently encouraging me said, "Dad, most people make their greatest contributions in their 60s and 70s. May God help us as we grow older, not to grow colder, but bolder as we claim God's promise to flourish and to be fruitful." Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
This government's incompetence and lack of leadership has caused millions of dollars in losses to cane farmers, the sugar industry, and the nation, which will never be recovered. BSI was ready to start the crop season as early as December 15th, but the government, through the Sugar Industry Control Board, imposed a delay until December 28th. When that date arrived, the season still could not fully commence because the government had failed to broker a long-term agreement on outstanding differences between farmers and the miller. This is almost 2 years after they contracted retired PUP politician Florencio Marin Sr. as highly paid so-called mediator with luxurious transportation and other perks at taxpayers' expense. It took 2 rungs of highway blockage, tire burning, and further threats by cane farmers, forcing Briceño to return from a luxurious trip to Rome before a band-aid solution would eventually be applied.
Not even a band-aid, I would say a transparent tape that we can all see through on a gaping wound to try to get past the municipal elections, and then at the cost of who? At the cost of the Belizean taxpayers.
Briceño and the PUP have once again failed Belize. Our country needs new leadership. The time is now.
These will offer you coping mechanisms when dealing with violent situations.
That is a very simple phone number that you can store in case of any emergencies.
Violence exists in the form of corrective rape.
Welcome Marines as the totally new HD member.
We realize that success in agriculture isn't just about land and access to finance. We realize that we have members who have issues of domestic abuse, who have issues of child sexual abuse in their families. We've noted that the barriers and the obstacles are quite different for women and girls than for men. And this is why we decided to take a holistic approach.
Violence against women and girls is an issue for me because I think it is used as measures of control and it is a reinforcement of negative power dynamics. All people, especially women who have been experiencing discrimination and injustice for quite some time, deserve to be afforded physical, emotional, financial, and mental stability and safety.
There are a lot of persons who don't understand the dynamics, of violence against women and girls. And so there's always need for advocacy and education to keep the awareness.
Economic empowerment, that's what we've been focused on day one. We've focused on creating opportunities, economic opportunities for women to establish themselves as independent business owners. On top of that, we've also created and ensured that we create male allies in their families, whether it's their husbands, their partners, and so forth, to understand the rights of women and to also understand and upskill themselves as supportive partners of these women and girls.
We need to educate young men and women within our society today, engage them in a one-on-one interaction, educating them about the different types of domestic violence that we have within our society, and teaching them how ending violence against women and girls can help within our future generation in preserving the future for women.
I believe it's important for persons to be aware of the positive enforcement and policy shifts in that of legislation, because this is what brings about change. This is what brings about the change in people's mindsets, and knowing that there are legislation, there are enactment of bills that advances the rights of women and girls.
Everyone has a part to play. If we see or hear something, we shall say or do something.
We have to stand up and make the changes ourselves to set the example for everyone else.
I will continue to play my part by advocating to end violence against women and girls.
We all need to make sure that we help to fight to eliminate violence against women and girls in our society.
What grows together, goes together. Let's stand in solidarity to fight violence against women and girls.
Everyone has a part to play.
Everyone has a part to play
in ending violence against women and girls.
The leadership of the Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association feels that the Prime Minister did not handle the recent sugarcane debacle in the best way possible, with the municipal elections just 2 months away. In fact, some of the cane farmers who spoke publicly last week even questioned whether or not the Prime Minister has lost ground in his constituency. News 5 asked the PM himself when we caught up with him on Thursday, and he feels quite the contrary. And although the PUP Northern Caucus is a political arm, he says that body also played a role in the process.
Absolutely not. It's supposed to be the opposite. I think that we have managed to get even more support because we intervened and we helped to avert a crisis that not only affects Carinjoa and Corozal, but can affect the entire country of Belize. I'm grateful to the Northern Caucus for the support that they have given me in helping me to be able to find a compromise between both sides.
The commercial agreement has been signed between the two parties that were at odds in the Sugar Belt, and the rest is history. Or is it? The determining factors at that 11th hour agreement continue to be terminal charges and throughput fees. But even though the documents have been signed for the 2-year agreement, an analysis is being done to determine the legitimacy of those fees and charges. News 5 asked the Minister of Agriculture, Jose Abelardo Mai, to explain those details.
There were a number of factors
One of them is the analysis and evaluation of current or new charges, which the farmers refer to as new charges, terminal handling, throughput fee. These were the sticking points because those were not on the previous agreement. So the farmers are saying, well, we don't want that in the agreement, right? Because it was not their last agreement. And what compounded the situation was that I think BSI has said to the farmers that these costs have a zero value. So the farmers are saying, why you put in new costs if they are zero value? And so the farmers said they were reluctant to accept that. Finally, both the attorneys who represent the parties met, and at I think it was like 10 p.m., 11, the agreement was finally agreed upon and signed. So it took a lot of work, a lot of sleepless nights.
So at the end of the day, who gave in, or was it a compromise between both? Who was the one that had to bend?
Yeah, both had to give in. Both parties had to give in something. That's negotiations. You don't get everything on one side. You don't give up.
So
everything.
in terms of...
Shu O'Brien was appointed to do an analysis and evaluation, if you want some scarlet analysis and evaluation, to determine if these costs are, one, real, and two, if the cost that they are charging is what it is. And so he will do the study in one. We gave him 3 months, but he will do it before that, I'm certain. And so, if that cost is legitimate, is one, and two, if the figures, the zeros, are accurate. So he will do that for us. Whenever Mr. O'Brien finishes his study, and it is real, then he has to implement it, right? And so I don't want to jump the gun, I don't want to reach to that, but we will, when we get to that bridge which we will cross, but there's something in place for that.
And so you don't foresee any problems thereafter?
At least for this matter, no.
Although the crisis has been addressed and the mill is back in full swing, there is a school of thought that still believes that the government, particularly the Prime Minister, took too long to intervene in the process. Some of the cane farmers themselves have slammed Prime Minister John Briceño for not taking decisive action earlier in order to bring an end to the impasse quicker. But Minister Mai says while people feel the government can do a lot of things, it decided to allow all other avenues to be exhausted first.
But the government has to weigh the options. What is the cost of using the hammer fist? There's always a cost. You want to nationalize it, there's a cost for that. You want to close the mill, there's a cost for that. You want to suspend, there's a cost for it. And so government, while I believe it can do something, it has to measure out the cost. And so the Prime Minister was very cautious as to what decisions had to be made. And so I don't think that it is 11th hour. I think that we wanted to exhaust all our options before we did something as drastic as that. And so it was done. That's the important thing.
On Thursday, we brought you the groundbreaking and signing ceremony for the access road to the Corozal Free Zone. The portion of road measures 2.6 kilometers and spans from the foot of the old bridge at the northern border to the entrance of the Free Zone compound. But aside from boosting the activity that takes place in the Free Zone, the government is also planning to expand the offerings to now include the light processing of agricultural goods. The Minister of Agriculture, Jose Abelardo Mai, was present at the groundbreaking event, and News 5 asked him to share those plans with us.
Our hope is that we can expand the Free Zone not only to be the sale of dry goods, but also we are thinking of small processing facilities, light processing we call it. We want to encourage investment in the Free Zone from Mexicans who can add value to primary product and then export to the CARICOM region. So that is what I have in view. I have shared my thoughts with the Prime Minister. I believe that with the Tren Maya coming on stream shortly, that we will increase, you will see an increased presence in the Free Zone. And so it opens for opportunities with the Mexican people.
After the break, BTIA hosts the 38th annual general meeting. But first, here's the weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
Calling all supporters of the United Democratic Party and defenders of democracy. A lunatic, ex-convict and dictator has taken control of the UDP, expelling longtime loyalists of the party. He has gone too far. It is time to take back our party from the control of this lunatic, ex-convict and dictator.
When your own people within your party call you a lunatic and want you removed, then you know how bad it is, and you know how weak you are. In March, the UDP will ask for your votes in municipal elections. Let them know that they are not better for Belize. Let them know their talk is cheap. In March, stick with the plan that works. Stay on track with the PUP.
I'm connected. Yo.
I'm connected.
We're connected.
Create the perfect broadband bundle that fits your style with Smart Connect. With the Junior Bundle, get 50% off your national calls and up to 6 gigabytes of data at no extra cost. Get postpaid added for an additional cost of only $25 with the Prime Bundle. Stay connected with unlimited smart-to-smart calls plus 6,300 megabytes of data and free international minutes. For the family, pay $28.13 more and get the Binge Watchers bundle with Netflix. This bundle gives you 4 profiles with unlimited streaming on multiple devices. Visit a showroom near you to sign up and personalize your own bundle combination with Smart Connect. Smart, bringing people together.
If we all don't come together and work together to change the bigger climate picture, these efforts will be in vain.
It's right there.
I believe that we have something special that is also a secret right now, which is unexplored, undiscovered.
I've been with the sugar fishermen all morning, catching lobster and crump. And then we realized it's time for lunch. And man, it's gonna be good. I think they deserve it.
Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 Belize teams do whatever it takes, go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 Belize on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, because news is now everywhere, all the time, and so are we.
When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. Channel 5 introduces the Daily Obituaries. The Daily Obituaries will broadcast all death and funeral announcements and memorials to honor your loved one's life and memories. The Daily Obituaries airs on Channel 5 prior to the evening newscast, with subsequent repeats at 10 p.m. and 12 noon the following day. It will also be placed online on our social media platforms, all for a standard package fee. Celebrate their lives and memories with Channel 5's daily obituaries. Honor in life and reverence in death.
Are you looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5 Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
Do you have information about a crime or a fugitive in our community? You can submit a tip anonymously with your smartphone. Using this program in safeguarding our community also protects your identity, keeping you out of the court system, and could earn you a cash reward. Here is how it works. Download the free P3 Tips app from the Apple Store or Android Market. P3 is the provider of our secure anonymous tip collecting software. Open the app and create a PIN, but be sure to remember that number, then select your location. Next, select the type of crime. When submitting a tip, be as specific as possible. If you have a picture, video or audio that will help officers, you can upload them from your phone. Information leading to an arrest can earn you a cash reward of up to $1,000. Once your tip is submitted, you'll be given a tip ID and password. Check back if your tip leads to an arrest. You'll be told how much you were rewarded and how to anonymously collect your cash.
Today, the Belize Tourism Industry Association hosted its 30th annual general meeting. This meeting is where stakeholders convene to review the sector's accomplishments, shortcomings of the last year, and the goals for the year moving forward. This year's meeting reflected on the success of the sector's remarkable post-pandemic recovery and the association's optimistic expectations for the upcoming season to come. This year's meeting carried the theme, Tourism Means Business. News 5's Brittany Gordon attended to hear the discussion. Here's the report.
The tourism industry has undergone immense changes within the past 4 years, ranging from damage inflicted from the COVID-19 pandemic to Belize's astounding post-pandemic recovery. The BTIA's annual meeting reflected on these changes and commended the industry for its resilience throughout the 2-year standstill. Minister of Tourism and Diaspora Relations Anthony Mahler spoke on these achievements.
In 2023, we saw a return of 93% of the overnight arrivals for 2019 compared to 2019. We are now very close to pre-pandemic levels, and our resilient tourism industry has survived these challenging years. It is easy to forget now that things are buzzing these days, that we came from a literal standstill almost 4 years ago. It must be noted that there were some months in 2023 that matched or exceeded that of 2019, and January 2024 is already off to a strong start, signaling that this should be a bumper year. I'm like Stuart, I look at the numbers every day, morning and night. The idea is not only to meet the 100% recovery threshold, but to surpass it, and that is our commitment as a team. In cruise, we also saw a strong rebound in arrival, as we received just over 900,000 cruise visitors in 2023 and hosted 309 cruise ship calls. We expect to move closer towards pre-pandemic arrival figures in 2024, as all major cruise lines have resumed calls to Belize and new cruise lines continue to express interest in our jewel.
The meeting was attended by members of the BTIA, which included restaurant and store owners, hotel operators, and other stakeholders. Prime Minister John Brasinia was also in attendance and spoke on the necessary action needed to maintain the industry's upward projection.
Last year, The Caribbean was the highest performing region globally, with economic growth at 9.8%, while in 2024 this is expected to decrease to 8.3%. The Caribbean region is still projected to have the healthiest growth trend this year. This is good news, but it does little to address the real and alarming fact that our region remains one of the most vulnerable, especially to climate change and rising sea levels. Catastrophic flooding, heat waves, wildfires, and more severe tropical storms are all very destructive and can set back our development back for decades. More than ever, we must make addressing climate change a priority for the long-term viability of our country. And all of you in this sector have a role to play in this process, beginning with ensuring that this sector meets its targets. The opportunities for Belize to grow its tourism product remains at an all-time high as travel and tourism continues to outpace the recovery of other industries globally.
Executive Director of Silkgrass Farms, Dr. Henry Canton, raised concerns with the industry, such as the trickle-down effect it carries on several other industries. Dr. Canton stressed that the impact tourism has on the agriculture industry needs to be considered moving forward.
You all would be surprised how much of agriculture has actually adapted to tourism. And I think it's unfair sometimes when the conservationists and stuff still get up and batter us and beat us about clearing the forest and this and that and the other. Most of us are, putting aside 15, 20 acres for water rights. Most of us are going to regenerative agriculture. Most of us are trying to do the things that are right so that we can have a story for you to better sell the products and to pass on higher prices so that you could get to the $50 a plate of food as opposed to the 40. And we are in that process, but we need tourism to recognize that, because we have not recognized the importance of tourism. And you're talking to one of the biggest converts, because I kind of said tourism was, Today I'm saying, you forced me to have adapted what you require. And we've spent horrendous amount of money to put in place what it's going to take to give you what you need to make me successful. And when I am successful, all the other farmers, smaller farmers and stuff that are around me will also be successful, because that's how it works in Belize.
The association affirms that 2024 promises a robust year for the tourism industry, and with the cooperation of private sectors and governing agents, Belize will witness a full comeback in the industry as well as the improvement of adjacent industries. Brittany Gordon for News 5.
The Belize Trade and Investment Development Service is a statutory body of the Government of Belize that operates within the portfolio of the Ministry of Economic Development. Its purpose is to enable and facilitate innovative and competitive business development, particularly where micro, small, and medium enterprise development is concerned. News 5 asked Beltrade's Executive Director, Dr. Leroy Almendares, to share their plan for 2024 with us.
On February 15th of this year, there's the launch of a project that includes or it incorporates or integrates the National Investment Policy, the MSME policy, and an export strategy. And again, it has to do with impact and how we are going to be creating employment, the investment landscape in terms of trade and development, MSME development. So that's one of the things. That's in February 15th. The other big ticket item for us is the National MSME Roadshow. We had one 2 years ago, and so we do it every 2 years. And that is supposed to run from June to August. We plan to make it much bigger this year, and so as many communities or areas within the country that we can visit to promote, to grow, to stimulate the MSME growth within this country because of their contribution to employment and gross domestic product. And then later in the year, we have our usual entrepreneurship convention. That's where you bring all these entrepreneurs together And especially now that we have segregated the economy into blue, green, and orange, we expect to see far more involvement in terms of the, or those operating within the orange economy. And so it's really, and of course, we're looking, of course, as well as formalization, those who can benefit from these incentives that exist. So we hope that, and we do plan to start to do a lot of marketing, so we hope that it will be much bigger than what it was even last year.
And when we return, 50 new surveillance cameras for Belize City.
This government's incompetence and lack of leadership has caused millions of dollars in losses to cane farmers, the sugar industry, and the nation, which will never be recovered. BSI was ready to start the crop season as early as December 15th, but the government, through the Sugar Industry Control Board, imposed the delay until December 28th. When that date arrived, the season still could not fully commence because the government had failed to broker a long-term agreement on outstanding differences between farmers and the miller. This is almost 2 years after they contracted retired PUP politician Florencio Marin Sr. as highly paid so-called mediator with luxurious transportation and other perks at taxpayers' expense. It took 2 rungs of highway blockage, tire burning, and further threats by cane farmers, forcing Briceño to return from a luxurious trip to Rome before a band-aid solution would eventually be applied.
Not even a band-aid, I would say a transparent tape that we can all see through on a gaping wound to try to get past the municipal elections, and then at the cost of who? At the cost of the Belizean taxpayers.
Briceño and the PUP have once again failed Belize. Our country needs new leadership. The time is now.
If we all don't come together and work together to change the bigger climate picture, these efforts will be in vain.
It's right there.
I believe that we have something special that is also a secret right now, which is unexplored, undiscovered.
I've been with the sugar fishermen all morning, catching lobster and conch. And then we realized it's time for lunch. And man, it's gonna be good. I think they deserve it.
Man, ever since everybody here, the next big thing there, the excitement can't done. Everyone wants to know more.
More?
Yes, please. I tell them, say hello to unlimited data, only with Digi. You can now enjoy unlimited data with Digi's postpaid plans, like the Plus plan, which just got cheaper, I might add. The Elite and Max plans also have unlimited data. You can have from 5 to 7 people on your shared plan, with all having unlimited data 24/7. I tell you, big things. If you're not signed up already, I suggest you sign up now. Make the switch to Digi. The next big thing there, go sign up for your unlimited data. Unlimited is unlimited. Never worry about data again.
The People's United Party has never been about talking. We leave that to those other guys. They were in office for 13 years. They spent billions of dollars and could not even build one hospital. In 3 years, the PUP has constructed a healthcare center in Keycocker, a polyclinic in Placencia, and a polyclinic in Belmopan. A new hospital will be built in San Pedro, and a new hospital in Belmopan. That's a government at work. In March, the UDP will ask for your votes in municipal elections. Let them know that they are not better for Belize. Let them know their talk is cheap. In March, stick with the plan that works. Stay on track with the PUP.
On Thursday, the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Ministry of Economic Development held an inauguration ceremony for the installation of surveillance cameras across the Old Capitol. The equipment was procured under the Belize Integral Security Program. a $60 million project that is funded by the Central American Bank for Economic Integration, CABE. News 5's Isani Caetano reports.
50 new pan-tilt zoom, or PTZ surveillance cameras, have been installed in several areas of Belize City. The procurement of this equipment will assist the Belize Police Department to effectively respond to incidences of crime. Footage from these cameras will also provide evidence that can lead to successful prosecutions.
Since 2020, our surveillance system has captured an aggregate of nearly 200 videos that have assisted in evidence gathering and thus prosecution of major crimes ranging from robberies and aggravated assault to kidnapping and murder. This activity is undoubtedly a marker of not only improved policing, but also improved access to justice for all. This afternoon, to officially inaugurate this surveillance system, which was made possible via the CABE Belize Integral Security Program, I cannot help but feel proud knowing that we are making another step in the right direction of improving citizen security and public safety.
According to Commissioner of Police Chester Williams, the surveillance system will be instrumental in enhancing overall public security and safety.
We certainly do not have the amount of police to be able to control or contain the amount of people who may want to perpetrate criminal acts in our communities. And so when we do have systems that can enable the police to be able to police the community more vigorously, it helps us tremendously. And what better way to do it than to have the surveillance camera system that is very, very effective in making sure that we provide the level of security to our people.
In 2023, the Government of Belize and Central TV and Internet Limited entered into an agreement for the acquisition of surveillance cameras and other related equipment. It is the first of a package of surveillance and emergency systems that will form part of a citywide emergency response mechanism.
The system will also be connected into health system, in fire, if there is a fire, if there is any traffic accident, So what we are trying to do is to have a multidimensional approach in how to enable a friendly environment that it will be safe, but also an environment that will help our Belizean people, our visitors, to feel safe in all aspects.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Caetano.
A small demonstration was held in Punta Gorda town this morning by residents from Columbia Village and other neighboring Maya and non-Maya communities. In light of the Toledo Alcaldes Association's rejection of the draft Maya communal land use policy, the Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs has weighed in on the provisional document from government's perspective. Earlier today, during the protest, we spoke with a resident of Yemery Grove as well as a councillor from the Punta Gorda Town Council.
I'm here with, other community, the Maya communities. We are here standing together because we know that, whatever is going on with the MLA, it's not correct. We're not benefiting from it. So I'm here again, standing strong with everyone, with all the communities that do not want them. To be honest, it's hurting us. So standing together is what we call unity. And that is what we need. We need to be united.
This whole issue boils down to the alcalde. The alcalde decide this. The alcalde is a one-man show. At the end of the day, the alcalde responsibility is to create peace and harmony within each community. And the reason why alcalde existed is because back in the days, we had very limited human resources, and I'm talking about the policemen. Many of these communities had we didn't have road access. So hence the reason why I think they established the alcalde system to have peace, to protect peace and harmony, and to be like a judge, for hear cases like civil matters, and their role is that they cannot charge nothing exceeding $50, and that was the reason why alcalde system exists. End of the day, The people elect a body that is called the village council. 7 members are elected in every community or every village. They are responsible for the village affairs from water, land, cemetery, everything, parks, everything that is the village business the village council is responsible. So hence the reason I'm asking, respect the village council. They're elected, not the alcalde. And by the way, I think some alcaldes are elected, some are appointed. But end of the day, Christina Cook and Pablo Miss and the entourage are not elected. The people elected a village council to represent the village. So I'm asking you, support this cause, support this movement. Enough is enough with Christina Cook and her movement.
Up next in this week's episode of The Bright Side, New Year, New Parents.
The UDP was in office 13 years, and for 13 years our municipalities were neglected. More work was done on one minister's private farm than in our towns and cities. That was the UDP way. Things are different now. In 3 years, this PUP government has done what the UDP did not do in 13 years. Streets in our communities upgraded and paved with proper drainage. Our major roads are being upgraded to international standards. Bridges are being built. In every community across this country, there has been progress. That is a government at work. In March, the UDP will ask for your votes in municipal elections. Let them know that they are not better for Belize. Let them know that their talk is cheap. In March, stick with the plan that works. Stay on track with the PUP.
If we all don't come together and work together to change the bigger climate picture, these efforts will be in vain.
It's right there.
I believe that we have something special that is also a secret right now, which is unexplored, undiscovered.
I've been with the sugar fishermen all morning, catching lobster and conch. And then we realized it's time for lunch. And man, it's gonna be good. I think they deserve it.
This government's incompetence and lack of leadership has caused millions of dollars in losses to cane farmers, the sugar industry, and the nation, which will never be recovered. BSI was ready to start the crop season as early as December 15th, but the government, through the Sugar Industry Control Board, imposed a delay until December 28th. When that date arrived, the season still could not fully commence because the government had failed to broker a long-term agreement on outstanding differences between farmers and the miller. This is almost 2 years after they contracted retired PUP politician Florencio Marin Sr. as highly paid so-called mediator with luxurious transportation and other perks at taxpayers' expense. It took 2 rungs of highway blockage, tire burning, and further threats by cane farmers, forcing Briceño to return from a luxurious trip to Rome before a band-aid solution would eventually be applied.
Not even a band-aid, I would say a transparent tape that we can all see through on a gaping wound to try to get past the municipal elections, and then at the cost of who? At the cost of the Belizean taxpayers.
Briceño and the PUP have once again failed Belize. Our country needs new leadership. The time is now.
This week's edition of The Bright Side delves a bit further into the heartwarming tradition of meeting the New Year's baby. While many eagerly await the arrival of the first baby born on New Year's Day, we decided to visit with the proud parents taking on this new journey. Saudi Robles and Pablo Lara were the first parents to welcome their baby boy on January 1st at 1 a.m. Now, 12 days later, we stopped by to see how parenthood is going.
I went to the hospital around 11 in the morning, the 31st. And I had a little bit of pain, not really, like period cramps. And I thought I was going to have him before the 1st. I didn't thought it was going to take so long. Like around 1, I reached 9. And like, oh my God, I don't want to have the first baby.
On January 1st, 2024, Sari Robles became the proud mother of the very first baby delivered at Carl Huchner Memorial Hospital. Embracing the Belizean New Year tradition, the media stopped by to celebrate the occasion and interview the new mom, capturing her unique experience during this special moment.
Pain, hurt, but yeah, right. You know, every woman have to go through that, so.
That was her description of labor, one she says is an experience that is altogether unique to a woman. Pablo Lara recounts witnessing this magical experience as terrifying, but beautiful.
It's a lot of pain. Actually, she's screaming. Really, she's screaming bad, like she's getting stabbed, you know. I get scared, kind of scared. But also a beautiful experience.
This tiny bundle of joy is now 12 days old. Born at 7 pounds, he has experienced significant weight gain since his arrival. Currently, he goes by Miniel, his middle name, as his parents are still in the process of deciding on his first name.
His middle name is Daniel, and mine is Ninette.
Okay.
So, Miniel. And then I searched it up, and it means my little angel.
Sari shares that her newfound journey into motherhood has proven to be less challenging than anticipated so far. She openly discusses any difficulties she encountered and highlights the beautiful aspects of her experience as a mother.
Well, I think it might be harder, but it's not really hard because he calm, he not cry a lot. He, as long as he sleep and eat, he happy. And like since he sleep a lot, so it don't bother me.
What's your favorite part of motherhood right now?
Seeing him grow.
Has he grown a lot since?
Yeah. His pants doesn't fit him no more.
Oh, wow.
His legs already long.
Yes.
See, his pants don't really fit him.
On the flip side, Pablo has embraced his responsibility with vigor, aiming to make his son proud. He looks to his employer as a mentor and a source of inspiration for the kind of man and father he aspires to become.
Don Walter Campos, or Mr. Walter Campos, that have always been there for me. I really thank him. I appreciate it. And wow, he's the best man I have ever met.
Yeah. Why is
for helping.
Why is he so important to you?
He teach me a lot of things. That's why I'm here with her. He teach me, he guide me to the correct way. You know, I just appreciate him. He's like a father to me.
Yeah. What's your advice to him as a new father?
Oh, I think he focus. Have to be focused. No, the child is sometimes we think like we have to have everything before we have a child, no, or before we have a family. But I think different. Maybe the family give the power to we start to have the rest. No, he have to focus and working in his family. No, and he have to save his money before he spending a one pants or one pair of tennis. He have to think he really need that or no, because he have to put focus in his family first.
The young couple aspires to be a positive influence for their son. Despite their youth, Sari and Pablo are determined to set an example as parents that can be admired for doing right by their child. Looking on the bright side, I'm Sabrina Daly.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at channel5belize.com on both our Facebook and YouTube. I'm Carla Ayers Musa. From all of us here at Channel 5, have a happy and safe weekend. Good night.